Thanks for stopping by the stream, guys. Hope you're enjoying your lovely day. We are hitting the road here. We got a bunch of great questions that came in from all different forms of social medias. We got a new social media. I've been on Reddit for the first time this past week. Reddit's a new thing for me. Let me turn down my volume here. And yeah, people on there are really nice. We got a bunch of great questions. We're gonna get off to a good start here, though. First question comes in from Dargod247, coming at us from Facebook. He's got a couple good questions here. I like these. Question number one is, what inspired you to start streaming? Okay, so I like that question. Streaming is something that I've done now for the past like 2 months, and I plan on getting slightly more serious with it once my house is finished being completed. So I'll be streaming a little bit more than normal, and yeah, I like doing it. So what inspired me to start streaming? Well, I game a lot. That's pretty much all I do. I'm kind of a bum. I like to game, so I figured why not turn gaming into something that could be a bit more entertaining, a bit more productive. Thanks for joining the stream, people. We're just answering a question rather from Dargod247. He wanted to know what inspired me to start streaming. So yeah, it's all that stuff, you know. I'm going to be gaming anyways. Might as well broadcast it. People can watch it. Hey, what's up, Zidian? I was listening to your podcast today. It was actually pretty good. I got through like the first 20 minutes of it. Not too bad, not too bad. I liked it. You had a band on there. I think I listened to episode number 6. But getting back to answering Dargod's question. Hold on a second, I gotta merge. Traffic is a bit busy today, my friends, so this podcast is gonna be a little bumpy. Little bumpy. But yeah, for those that just joined, Dargod247, he wants to know what inspired me to start streaming. I mean, really, it's just, you know, if you're gonna be gaming all the time anyways, playing games all the time, why not let other people check it out and see if they enjoy it? You know, and you can make videos of it. So it got me into video editing. It got me into learning how to speak in front of people, do all these kind of different skills. So yeah, it taught me a lot of different skills just from learning how to stream. The whole process of streaming, there's so much involved. You got to learn how to set up your computer. You got to learn how to set up your broadcasting software, your lighting, your audio. You just learn so much from doing it. So even if I never, you know, stick with streaming, I've already learned so much from it. So to me, it was something I wanted to try, something that, you know, makes me a little bit nervous when I do it. Same thing with this podcast. I do these podcasts and I'm nervous every time I do them. And I get nervous like right before them, and it's a good feeling though. It's good to get out of your comfort zone and do things that you thought you couldn't do. So if there's anything out there that you people want to do and you think you can't do it, just give it a shot. You never know. Could be something you love, could be something you hate, but you don't know until you don't try. So thanks for the question, Dargod. He's got another question here. It's similarly related. Why start streaming after years of gaming? Yeah, I mean, it's similar answer. It's just, you know, it's time wasted that I could be streaming. I could be creating content. Some funny things happen sometimes when you're playing games and you want those moments to be recorded. You share those moments with other people. I figured why not start recording all these moments. So that's why I started streaming years after gaming. There's all these times that stuff happens. It's like, oh man, I wish someone saw that, or, you know, I wish I could have shared this, you know, gameplay experience with these people. And that's, I think, the heart of streaming, and that's why I wanted to do it after years and years of being what I call, you know, a professional gamer. I consider myself, even though I'm not that good, but that's why I do it. All right, Dargod247 from Facebook. He's got another question coming at us. He wants to know what is my favorite social media to interact with my followers and why. So right now I have all different social medias you could think of, but I don't really have any followers yet. The only followers that I have are people that I know. So the answer to that question would definitely be Facebook. All my friends and family that watch me stream or watch these podcasts, I interact with them with Facebook. It's just really easy. Everyone has it. You can put links to videos to YouTube on there. So far that is my favorite. I think in the future though, growing actual followers that, you know, branch out into, you know, people that I know just from online, from Twitch and stuff like that, I think Instagram will be my favorite because I just love the format of Instagram. It's visual centric, you know, photos, videos, and I just like the way it looks. I like the feel of it. I feel like it's a positive community. You can meet a lot of new people on Instagram too. So Facebook is the answer to that, but in the future it might be Instagram. All right, we got another question coming in from Brad on Facebook. Thanks for the question, Brad. He wants to know, what was the first video game that you remember playing? Okay, so, you know, your memory is foggy, and I started playing games as early as like 2 years old, 3 years old. I would have the paddle in my hands, and there's videos of this. This is why it's a bit confusing, because I think my memory, I see myself watching myself play when I was like 2. I got like videos of it, so I think I remember those games just because I'm watching the video. I don't actually remember doing it in person. But yeah, that would be, oh, okay, man, I hear you in chat. Thanks for stopping by. You'll be back in a little bit to check out the rest of the podcast. This is the Ask Me Anything episode number 2 for those who just joined. But yeah, Super Mario World for Super Nintendo. I was like 2 years old, 3 years old playing that game. It would have been, you know, a couple years after it came out. I was born in 1990. So that's the first game I ever remember playing. And it's that game, that's a great game to be your first game to remember, because it's just such a great game. There's you know, you go through the worlds, there's secrets to get. So if you're really into that kind of stuff, you can get all your secrets, you can beat every stage. You can go in different directions, so it's not like you feel like you're trapped in that game. You know, you can, and then if you're really good, there's bonus areas you can go to that are insanely hard and challenging. So it's got a little bit of everything for everyone. You can be a casual player and just go through and just do your stuff, or you can be hardcore and try to beat every stage, or try to get through the game as fast as possible. It's a lot of speedrunners do that, and that's another question that's coming up later in the podcast. Spoiler. But yeah, that's the first game I ever remember playing, and the reason that I think that answer is a little bit, you know, tricky is because, yeah, like I said, I have home videos of me watching me play it. You can see it when I'm a little 2-year-old kid. I like to find that video and post it. It'd be funny. Little 2-year-old kid holding the paddle, and there's someone else next to me with another paddle, and they're playing the game, and I think that I'm actually controlling it. I'm sitting there in front of the TV looking like a cute little kid, and yeah, I wasn't actually playing. Someone else was playing, and I thought I was playing. But that's why that memory, you know, resonates with me, and that's the first game. I mean, it probably was the first game that I played too. So, but we can't be for sure because I started so young, I can't even remember. All right. Next set of questions, we got a bunch here coming from twitch.tv. So he's a streamer on Twitch if you guys want to check him out. Accelerante TV. I believe I said that right this time. He was in the first AMA episode and I pronounced his name wrong. I felt bad. But twitch.tv/Accelerante TV. He's coming at us from Discord. His first question, he wants to know, rice or potatoes as your side of choice? So this is a really good question. I'm going potatoes as a side of choice. And my reasoning for this is rice, I don't really consider rice as much of a side, as more of like a condiment. Like I throw rice into stuff. Like I'll throw rice in a burrito, or I'll throw rice into soup. Sure, once in a while I'll have it as a side, but a lot of the times you're eating rice as the main meal. You know, you make chicken stir fry, all that stuff. The rice is the main thing that you're eating, it's not the side. Although people do have it as the side. But yeah, potatoes, that's a much better side, because you can do everything with potatoes. Not just a baked potato, there's like 1,000 different things you can do. So French fries, you know, we can go all day with this, but that's the answer to that one. So we're definitely going with potatoes over rice for the side. Great question. Next question coming up, beef or chicken? That is his question. Beef or chicken? Well, I'm gonna go beef. Yeah, I'm gonna go beef, but just because I'm a big fan of burritos and tacos, and I like those with beef over chicken. But chicken's really good too, so good question. But yeah, we're gonna go beef on that one, my friend. Another great simple question, but I like it. Water or juice? Okay, we're gonna go with water. My reasoning behind this is that water is very hydrating. You can get a lot of nutrients out of it. Well, you get water out of it, and juice is bad for you people. Stop drinking juice. I'm going to tell you right now. Juice is horrible for you. It's pretty much concentrated sugar from the vegetables and fruits, and it has none of the pulp. It's got none of that content that is good for you, none of that fiber. So you might think juice is healthy, and I'm sure it's healthier than some things, but I don't know. You're honestly better off drinking pop. than you are drinking juice. Juice is pretty bad for you. So we're going to pick water for that one. All right. Twitch.tv/Accelerante TV's got another question. He wants to know, do you go with the flow in personal settings, or do you conduct the flow and kind of lead? So I think he's asking, like, if I go to a party, am I going to be the one that's going to start the conversations, or am I going to kind of just go with the flow and just kind of chill out? I think I'm going to be the person that kind of just chills out and just hangs out in the corner. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. But, you know, I'm the kind of person too, if shit's like boring, nothing's going on, I will step up and be like, hey, what's going on here, people? What are we doing? Let's come up with like a game to play or something like that. You know, we're all sitting around being boring. So I could do a little bit of both. But, you know, the default one, the easy to go to one is kind of just hang out in the corner, sit back and relax, and let everyone else do the hosting if you're at like a party or something like that. Kind of just be off in the distance here. Oh, come on, we got to make this yellow light, my friend. I'm going to go through this red light. I don't care. Yes, sir. That was live on Twitch, going through that red light. Oh, the guy behind me went through the light too, so if anyone's getting a ticket, it's that mug. All right, we're on to page number 2 out of like 5, so this is going good. All right, we got another guy asking questions. This might be our first guy from Reddit. Yep. So we got Dr. Green Thumb 802 from Reddit. He's got a couple good questions here. Okay, a couple of good questions, plural. Question number 1. I love this. So this is actually a really easy question to answer. What happens when you die? So I think officially, you know, for you to be classified as dead, I think there has to be like no brain activity for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't even know. It's actually, as medical science gets better, I think that time limit's getting pushed further and further. So eventually it could be like, you know, you died like 3 days ago, but today you would be dead for 3 days. But like 100 years from now, say you died 3 days ago, they wouldn't even call you dead. They'd just be like, oh yeah, he's been out for 3 days. We got to bring him back. So yeah, as medical technology gets better, I think that limit is getting pushed further and further. But yeah, once your brain stops working, you're considered dead, and you kind of just lay there. That's all, you know. That's the question. He asks, what happens when you die? Your body starts deteriorating. One cool fun fact that most people don't realize, so inside your body there's thousands and millions and billions of parasites and organisms and bacteria that live off of you. And it's kind of sad to think, like, when you die, a lot of those little guys are going to die too. So I like to think about it like that, you know. They're going to live on for a while after you die, probably. Maybe even like a year or something like that. They're going to keep living off your body, and some of them will probably die. But yeah, when you die, all those guys die with you. So that's interesting. So, you know, it's not just you that's dying. You got to think about the greater good. All those little bacterium, all those little parasites, those little guys are depending on you to stay alive. So you want to do that. You want to keep those little guys alive. You know, they have feelings too, possibly. But yeah, this question could have got religious, could have gotten to, you know, spiritual. I try to stay away from that because I'm into facts. I'm into, you know, put it down on a piece of paper, write me an equation, something like that. But yeah, we could get spiritual, you know. You have a consciousness when you're alive. When you die, maybe the consciousness breaks away from your body that was kind of like holding it in somehow, and then the consciousness goes somewhere else. So it could be some sort of afterlife. It could be some sort of rebirth. There's a lot of options, and maybe it's not just one. Maybe there's like, you know, a million. Maybe some people go into purgatory. They just get bad luck, and their little consciousness just gets like stuck to like a rock. You know, so anything could happen. But one day we will know. I do believe. I think it's going to be a long ways away, but as far as we know now, that's what happens when you die, my friend. You kind of just lay there and you chill, and you're kind of just hanging out, relaxing. Just think of like a nice hard day at work, and you know, you get home and you just crash out on the couch and you're just dead. That's what it is. So that's what happens. All right, good question, Dr. Green Thumb. I like that one. That's you know, it's a deep question. I know you're expecting, you know, pearly gates, 63 virgins. I'll take all the above, but I'm also fine with knowing that once I die, I will cease to exist, and the world will keep going on without me, just fine and dandy. And that's the end of it. It's a wrap, my friend. Lights out. And I think if more people could just accept that, I think the world would be a better place. You know, you have close family members that die. You'd like to, you know, you want to see them again, this and that. I know. I understand. It's rough. But, you know, we're all given one shot on this earth to live. I say make the best of it while you're alive. And don't worry about what happens when you die. I mean, you really could just be nothing. So, I don't know. That's what my bet's on. If I had a bet, it's lights out, my friend. But that's a little bit morbid. So let's get on to his second question, because his second question is a little bit more exciting. It involves the term midget, which, for those that don't know, it's actually pronounced little people now. That's what we go with. And that's actually very accurate. They are very little. And they are people. So that's what we're going with. But he wants to know, where did the word midget come from? I didn't know the answer to this one, I'll be honest, so I did a little research. Apparently it originates not too long ago. Circus acts, stuff like that, entertainment back in, like, I don't know, the early 1900s. They used to have these little people come out, and they would label them the term midget. And apparently back in the day, midget was used a lot in the, you know, quasi-scientific community. A lot of things that were smaller than normal would be, you know, used. The term midget would be thrown in front of them. So, like, you got a small apple, it's a midget apple, you know. They don't really do that anymore. Now they call it a little person apple. So it's a little bit different now, but, you know, that's the more proper way to do it. So, yeah, that's where the word came from. It was more like circus acts, like come see the midget, come see the, you know, the dancing crazy midget that can juggle. And that's where the term originated, I do believe. But we don't do that no more. So thanks for the questions, Dr. Green Thumb 802, coming at us from Reddit. I'm new to Reddit, so welcome me to the community with open arms, please. Next question is coming from Facebook. Get on that Facebook, people. Instant message me your questions. And for those who just joined, this is an Ask Me Anything episode. So if you're in chat, throw out those questions, and I will give you an answer. Just no vulgar language. I don't do that. I don't drop the C-bomb anymore. I do occasionally, but not on the stream. We don't do that. We're PG here. Okay, Pierce from Facebook wants to know, why do bars in Buffalo stay open until 4 a.m.? This is a really cool question. A lot of cities in this area, so Buffalo, for those that don't know, we're in New York. We're in upstate New York. That's where I live. A lot of the cities around here, you know, the bars close at like 2 a.m. That's just common, you know, knowledge. You got till 2 a.m., you get your last drink in, all that stuff. But no, not in Buffalo. They stay open till 4 a.m. We party hard here. We party late. And he wants to know why that's the case. Why is it 4 a.m.? Why is it not 2 a.m. in Buffalo? I have no idea. I have no idea. I looked it up. I tried to find the answer. I was like, well, if I don't know the answer, I might as well at least make it interesting and do some research and try to figure out, I don't know. I did a lot of research and I couldn't really find an answer. All I could find was, I mean, I guess it's just better for business. It probably brings in more taxes. There's a lot of people that debate, you know, is it better to stay open till 2 a.m.? You get the drunks home earlier, so that way there's no car accidents in the morning. But I guess the stats are out there that the people that are going to party hard and that are going to be drinking and all that stuff, they're going to do it anyways, regardless if the bar is closed at 2 or 4. So all these kind of things that you can think of, they don't really factor in. There's really no difference. The only thing I can see is a financial difference. And another thing that I could think of would be, say you live somewhere, okay, there's another city to the east called Rochester. So say you live like in between Rochester and Buffalo, like smack dab in the middle, okay? And then you want to choose, okay, what bar do we want to go to? Well, you might go to Buffalo over Rochester now because, you know, we're open till 4 here. You can drink all night. Well, most of the night. So I think that's got something to do with it too. It's kind of like exclusivity among the alcoholics. That's how we'll sum up this segment. I don't even know if I can say that again. Exclusivity among alcoholics. So that's what's going on there. They're trying to, you know, trying to corner the market on those guys. Get them in late, keep them in late, and make their money. And yeah, that's why. That's the answer to your question, Pierce from Facebook. Thank you for the question. We're moving on to another new Reddit friend, Sensible People Pod. He wants to know, what is the percentage of the time you spend picking your nose on your commute? Now, this is a good question. A lot of people would answer this question not honestly. They would say like 0%, which means, absolutely never. I'm going with like 0.5% of the time. That might even be a little high. No, we'll do like 0.01% of the time. Because sometimes, you get out of work and that, and, you don't want to pick your nose in front of people, and that's gross. But it does happen, and, you do it privately. You got to be able to breathe better. It's better for you to breathe better, you get more oxygen in your blood and that, and you got to do it. But yeah, no, it's just a quick, clear the area out and you're done. So my answer to that, percentage-wise, is 0.01% of my drive is spent picking my nose on average. Sometimes it's 0, but on average it's pretty low. All right, question number 2 from Sensible People Pod from Reddit. He wants to know, how awful would it be driving on an expressway without a windshield? So, it's pretty much in the word windshield. Just space up that word a little bit, You got the wind, you got a shield, it's protecting you from the wind. It would be very, very bad to drive down the highway without a windshield. Although, people drive on motorcycles and they love it. Although they got like helmets on and crap. So you can ask those guys. Those guys would be good to ask. I have never been on a motorcycle at high speeds, but I could imagine it's pretty bad. You get a lot of bugs. Sometimes you get snow and all that kind of stuff if you live in northern regions. So yeah, it would be pretty bad. I wouldn't want to drive without a windshield. I would be shieldless, and I would be very cold if it was winter or if it was raining. It would not be good. So, but luckily on the daily commute here, we do have a windshield in front of us. Can I switch my camera around for a second? I've never done this before. This is the first. This is an all-time first, my friends. I guess I could just do the rest of the podcast like this. This is kind of cool. You guys don't got to look at my dumb face. All right. So yeah, that guy was a good question, though. I like that. Thanks, Sensible People Pod from Reddit. Your questions are amazing. Hopefully you send me more in the future, and we can have more commute-related questions. Picking the nose and the windshield and all this stuff. So great questions thus far. But we have another person coming at us from Reddit. It's Marinated Steaks. I like that. Marinated Steaks from Reddit wants to know, is it more efficient to let an air conditioner run all day while you're at work, or should you just leave it off all day while you're at work? Second you get home, crank it on full blast. This is a tricky question. It has a lot of variables involved. First you want to think of how well insulated is your house, okay? And then you want to, factor in, do you have any pets at home while they're at work? Because you might want to leave them with the air conditioner. They probably don't need it, but I don't know. My dog's spoiled. I give him an air conditioner when I'm gone. So, and it depends on, money. How environmentally conscious are you? I'm not very environmentally conscious, unfortunately. I don't know. With stuff like that, I kind of feel like electricity is going to get used regardless. I feel like me not using electricity, like, what is it really going to do anything? Maybe it does. I probably should look into that. But yeah, no, I'll let the air conditioner run all day. But he wants to know, is it more efficient to let it run all day or crank it when you get home? And the answer to that question, actually, believe it or not, and I did do a little research because I wanted to make sure I got this right, I actually thought the opposite. I thought it would be better to leave it at a low setting. Say maybe you leave it at like 70 degrees. No, leave it at like 80 degrees while you're at work, and then come home and put it at your nice, 70 degrees or wherever you want. But that's not the case. It's actually bad for the air conditioner to be running all the time. It needs a break. It needs rest. It's got machinery in there too. And you're better off cranking it when you get home as far as saving money and stuff like that goes. Now, the caveat to that would be, I think if you have really bad insulation to your house and like you just randomly open windows as you leave your house and your house got up to like 100 degrees while you left, then I think it would be more efficient probably to leave it on. But if you're, keeping your house at like 70 degrees, you go to work, you shut the air conditioner off. You could even have it on a timer. So set it on a timer so an hour after you leave for work, then it shuts off. So you're not going to worry about it. 70 degrees it's set for. A couple hours later, you're at work. It might get a little bit warmer in there. It might get up to like 80, 85. But then you have it programmed, like an hour before you come home to get back down to that nice 70. So that's the most efficient way to do it, my friend. So if you're trying to save money, if you're environmentally conscious, if you don't have a spoiled dog at home that you want to keep nice and air conditioned because he's a good boy, then that's what you do. You set that timer and you get your home nice and warm right when you get home. All right, we are on to page number 3 of the question. Thank everyone for stopping by. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page. Give me a like. It helps me out a lot. If I get up to 100 viewers, I will be able to name my YouTube channel. So when you see the link to my YouTube channel, if I ever send it to you, it's like, http://www.youtube.com/ and then it's just a bunch of gibberish. That gibberish I could turn into Steve XM. But they gotta have 100 subscribers before they let you do that. So let's get those subs up. Let's get these likes up, and eventually you're gonna see my name in that hyperlink. All right, another fellow from Reddit. Man, Reddit really came through this episode. Everyone came through, but definitely Reddit, because more than 90% of this is Reddit. All right, Jotapan. Jotapan from Reddit wants to know: are you a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Now, for those that don't know what that is, MCU, we like to call it for us professionals. The Marvel comics came out probably in the 60s or something like that, maybe even earlier. And it all started with Iron Man. When did that come out? In 2014? 16? That was like the first movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he wants to know if I'm a fan of that universe, and yes. I think it's pretty hard not to be. I mean, I don't know. Those movies are really good. They're all pretty good. Some of them are kind of like whatever. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. I'm actually behind in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's just go over a couple movies off the top of my head that I have to watch to get caught up. So I haven't seen the new one, Infinity War, which I hear is amazing. We'll work backwards. I haven't seen Black Panther. I haven't seen Ant-Man. I haven't seen the second Thor, the third Thor. I haven't seen the third Captain America. Yeah, there's a bunch of movies I haven't seen, but I think up until those movies, I think I've seen most of them, and they're all really good. But I will say, after watching one of my favorite movies of all time, I think I can put it in my top 50, maybe top 20, would be Logan. So after watching Logan with Hugh Jackman, a couple other good actors, that movie is amazing. So once you see an R-rated Marvel movie, now granted, not every Marvel movie needs to be R-rated. I think Wolverine especially, particularly does well with the R rating. Once you go watching Logan, it's hard to go back watching the PG-13 Marvel movies. But yeah, I'm looking forward to more Marvel movies like that. More gore, more violence. But I understand that comics, are kind of supposed to be family-ish friendly. Like, I think a kid should definitely be able to get into his comic books, read them, enjoy them, and then he should be able to go to the movies and watch them. But I don't know, maybe they should have like an offshoot, do like an Avengers, but like the R in the Avengers is like bold and like, there's like a lot more cleavage and a lot more, swords that don't just get stabbed through people and don't show blood. They actually show all the, good stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the R-rated movie that you can't with PG-13, but I want to see more of that. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Alright, Jotapan, I like your question so far. Let's see your second question. Alright, so he wants to know, he says, if you are a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what is your favorite music? What is your favorite piece of music from the Marvel Cinematic Universe? This is a hard question to answer. There's a lot of good songs in a lot of the Marvel movies, especially the newer Marvel movies. I can't talk, but I'm going to continue to talk. But actually, when I first read this question, I thought about it for a second, and the song that stood out the most was just from Iron Man 2. I think it's in the beginning. It's AC/DC Thunder, I believe. And that's just a really cool, just like, he's like jumping out of the plane and like showing off in front of everyone, and I thought it was really cool. That one stood out, but I actually did a little bit of homework, and I wanted to come up with a real answer. So the past couple of days I had on YouTube, and I recommend for everyone that's listening to this, go out there and punch, Guardians of the Galaxy full album. So I did a little homework and I listened to that full album. I actually listened to Volume 2. I got to go back and listen to Volume 1, catch up on those. But Volume 2 was really cool. It was interesting. It was great from beginning to end. I think I still got a couple songs left to finish. But it kind of had this like upbeat vibe to it. All the songs are merry and cheery, and they're old school. A lot of old school songs too, from like the 60s and 70s. But it's just a lot of fun, and it's like it puts you in a good mood. And there's some really good songs on there. So the songs I don't think I would technically listen to on their own. But if you listen to the album as a whole piece, like a whole piece of artwork, yeah, it puts you in a good mood. It's very upbeat, and I was kind of like getting flashbacks to some of the scenes. I've only seen the movie once, but those songs just are so funny in those scenes in the movie. So you kind of get to relive the movie when you listen through the album. But yeah, go check it out on YouTube. I think you can just listen to it for free legally. There's like commercials, but yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy album, good music. Marvel Universe uses good music all around. And yeah, oh, you know what? Another song came to mind. I think it was in the trailer, but that Johnny Cash cover, that one song for Logan, that's a really good song. I wish I could think of the name. What is it? Is it Dirty Cage? Yeah, I think it's Dirty Cage. It's probably completely wrong, but look it up. That's a really good song. So that actually might take the win. I just changed my own mind. I don't know if that was in the movie though. But trailer-wise, that's what we're going with. We're going with a Johnny Cash cover song. That's a really good song. All right, Jadapan. Thanks for the questions. If you got any more, shoot them at me. Leave them in the comments. And that goes for everyone else as well. You can just leave the next questions for next week. You can leave them in the comments. You can get a hold of me on any of my social medias. I'm on everything. You can find me on Twitch. I'll be streaming, this coming up Friday, which by the time this video goes out will probably be tonight. So yeah, I'll be streaming Friday. You can check me out live and stop on by. But we're going to move on to Henry's grandma coming at us from Reddit. Thank you, Reddit. Oh, I can't even answer this question. I might save this question for next week. It's too good. Yeah, you know what, Henry's grandma? I'm going to save your question for next week just because now you guys can learn a lesson from Henry's grandma. This is a solid question. And this probably is like, asking questions 101. This is probably like one of the questions you ask, but I've never done this before. The question is so good, I need more time to think about it, and I want to answer it in its truest form because there's so many different ways you can go with this question. I'm going to read the question though. So Henry's grandma from Reddit says, you can invite 3 famous people to dinner. Who do you invite and why? So what I like about that question is there's so many different ways you can go. You can just like, you can just answer like, my 3 idols, my 3, who do I want to see? Like a Red Hot Chili Pepper there, I want to see my favorite actor there. Maybe I'll have like Johnny Depp come over. You can do it like that, or you can be like something crazy, like, okay, I want to get 3 people in the same room that something's gonna go down. You throw like a Hitler in there, you throw like a Gandhi in there, and you mix it up with like a Trump or something like that, and then all is good. Oh, welcome back. I forget how to pronounce the name. I'm going to call you Zidian for now. I believe it's the name of a cymbal company for the drums. So Zidian's back. He's checking us out in stream. You can check his podcast out too, actually. There's a link on my Discord page. He's got a pretty cool podcast. I listened to a little bit of it so far. I liked it. I was digging the vibes. I gotta hear the podcast with the new microphone though. I didn't think the microphone was that bad that you were using, but it sounded good to me. But yeah, give his podcast a listen too. I'm going to listen to some more of it later. We're moving on to another question. And Zidian, if you have any questions, throw me a question real quick while you're in chat. I'll answer it live. You'll be the first question I ever asked live. I think it was episode number 6 that I was listening to, if that's your question. He's asking which one. But yeah, throw me questions live if you got them. I'll answer them live. I've never done a live question yet. I always tell people, get in the chat and throw them at me live. This way it's spontaneous. And I can't cheat. And I can't look stuff up. This Week in Rock is recorded weekly, so that's the new one. That's the new mix. That's the new mic, okay. No, it was like episode number 7. It was a band. Wolf Skin, I believe was the name of the band. heavy metal band. So for those that are looking for like a, maybe like a little bit smaller podcast, but this guy does he does interviews with people that do heavy metal music. He's got gaming stuff he does. He's got a podcast going up soon. I don't know if it's already up, but he's got some Overwatch player coming on. I remember him telling me about that. So that would be really cool. I don't know how I guess you just got to branch out and find people like that. That's kind of, Wolfskin was the name of the band he had on his show. That's kind of my idea what I want to do with my podcast. Like, I do this daily commute thing, and I like doing it. It's not daily, but I like doing the questions in the car. But I think in the future what I want to do, I want to interview smaller streamers and smaller content creators. And, just get the behind the scenes of their daily lives, what they do. It's interesting to meet these people and see why they do things. Yeah, so that episode, for those that want to check out a interview with an Overwatch player, that's going out tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Zidian's channel. You can throw the link in the chat if you want. Oh, that's a hard name to say. Anjali. I'm not even going to try to butcher that. She's like your best friend. What does she main? Does she main a certain character in Overwatch? But yeah, we're going to get to the next question while he answers that. We got this guy. His name is It Comes Through You on Reddit. He wants to know... Oh, this is a good question. He wants to know if I had any particularly cringe-inducing memories from my teenage years. So I like that question. Unfortunately, my teenage years were a bit foggy for several different reasons. My memory is kind of shot to shit. But, oh, she's a voice actor for the game. Oh, sick! That's awesome. What does she do? She's not the somber one. What does she do? Tracer? May? What do you got? Tell me she's the Pharah voice actor. I'm a Pharah main. Although I haven't played Overwatch in a while. But, Zidian in chat has, oh, she's Symmetra. She must be happy that she finally got turned into a actual playable character. It's not trash anymore. Yeah, so Zidian is in chat. He's got the podcast coming out tomorrow at 1 p.m. on his channel. I'll make sure I post some links to it in my social media that you guys can check it out. But that's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to listen to that. He's going to have the voice actor that does the voice of Symmetra on there. That'll be interesting. I'll definitely listen to that tomorrow. I am friends with the voice actor that is Pharah as well, he says. So he's got a lot of friends in his voice acting world. I kind of like that. It's kind of cool because it's like, I hear so many people. I was playing with this guy in Rec Room the other day, and man, his voice was just amazing. I never listened to Rick and Morty, but I know the voice, and he sounded just like the guy with the deep voice. I don't know, the older guy. It's got the cool, like, weird voice. It might have been him. It sounded just like him. But I respect people that have a good voice and know how to use it and can make money off that. Make money off that voice. Oh my god, I got completely sidetracked. I'm friends with Slipknot, too. Oh boy. I'm going to have to tell my buddy about that. I have a drummer friend that you would love to meet and interview, and I should get you a couple of videos of him playing drums. He watches this YouTube channel. Anyways, he's amazing. Shout out to, his name is actually Slipknot Maggot on Twitch. So shout out to Slipknot Maggot. I've seen him play the drums. He's like insane. He does these drum rolls, and it's just like, I don't even know what's going on. He's a beast. But yeah, I got a lot of respect for drummers because I tried it a couple times, and you got to be ambidextrous. You got to be able to do all that stuff. So, Zidian in chat is saying, Corey Taylor's ex-wife is from where I live. Okay, that's cool, man. It's not often you meet people that, on Twitch and on YouTube that know this kind of stuff. Chris Fenn from Slipknot lives 5 minutes from me. I probably butchered that name, but what's your buddy's name? Search Slipknot Maggot on Twitch, and you'll probably find him. Oh, no, you know what? That might be his, that's his, I think that's his Steam name. I don't know. We'll be in touch. I'll get a hold of him, but it's probably cool for fellow drummers to meet in that, and he's a really amazing drummer, so I'll have to look at your drumming videos. I know that you had some on there. I've seen a couple of your covers you did. What was the name of that one cover? Oh, you did have a Foo Fighter cover on there. I want to check that out. I'm a Foo Fighter fan. I like that band. But yeah, Zidian in chat is coming through strong. Do you got any questions for me, Zidian? I want to get my first live question ever. from a chatter. It can be about anything. So we'll get that question. But we got to answer another question first. Cringe-inducing memories from my teenage years. That's coming from, his name is It Comes Through You on Reddit. So yeah, my memory's foggy. We'll get back to that. Don't remember anything from my teenage years. Probably a good thing. But I will offer you a cringe-inducing memory from recent times. So, a cringe-inducing memory from recent times. I was probably 27 years old. We were at this nice hotel that has a nice, big in-ground pool. And apparently there's some kind of event going on where they have all the kids gather around the pool. And they all put their legs in the water. And it's like this duck race thing that they do. So all the kids gather around, they put their legs in the pool, and they all start kicking, kick as hard as you can. And you got to try to make the ducks move or some crap. I don't really remember. Anyways, I tried to do this. You think this wouldn't be a hard feat. This is one of the times that I learned I'm insanely out of shape. So it's a good story. I don't know if anyone's ever gotten a Charlie horse before, but I actually am so good, I actually got a double Charlie horse. I got a Charlie horse in each leg. So I thought I was as physically adept as these little kids. I was kicking my legs as hard as I could, and then it's a really good workout if you ever just put your legs in the side of the pool and kick. But yeah, I'm not in good shape, and I did that, and I got a double Charlie horse, and I leaned over on my side, and I was kind of wincing and crying. Well, not crying, but I was in pain. I was making grunting sounds, and my fiance is right next to me. The pool is surrounded. Everyone could see me. Pool surrounded by little kids. I'm like leaning over this little girl. Like, I just kind of like picture me like spooning a little girl. Like, she's sitting upright, but I'm down on the concrete and like spooning around her body. And then she was a little scared. But that was funny. And my fiance was embarrassed. I was embarrassed afterwards. Wasn't embarrassed until afterwards, though. At the time, it was just so much pain. So yeah, Charlie horses are bad. I've gotten one in recent times as well. Alright, man. We'll check you out later, Zidian. Thanks for the information, though. And we will definitely check that podcast out. That sounds really interesting. And go say hi to Slipknot for us all. For Slipknot Maggot. And we'll talk to you later, man. Yeah, I've had recent Charlie horses, too. And you just got to stretch more, Stay in shape, people. Eat your bananas. Unfortunately, with my diet, I can't eat bananas. So that is not an option for me. But there's other things you can do. Alright, we got another question coming in. Thanks for embarrassing me, though. It comes through you on Reddit. The next question is from NobodyMove99 on Reddit. He wants to know, is speedrunning a degenerate pastime? Okay, so for those that don't know what speedrunning is you take a game, video game. I guess you could do it with real life things too. Like, I could speedrun a shopping, I get a shopping list and I'm going to speedrun it. You guys want to see me do that live? I'll do that tomorrow. I'm going to Walmart. So yeah, we're going to speedrun. You guys come up with the shopping list and I'm going to speedrun it. But no, the speedrunning that NobodyMove99 is talking about is, he's talking about video game speedruns, I believe. So what you do is you throw on your, Super Nintendo, your PC, whatever you're playing on. You put in your Super Mario Bros. Number 3, whatever you want to do, and you beat it from beginning to end, and you time yourself. And then you post your time online, and you see who can get the best time. Now, the thing about that is, some games, to speedrun them, there's games that are like, 40-hour games, 20-hour games. Final Fantasy VII, there's people that speedrun that. So, sometimes you gotta play it over and over and over again. So, Nobody Moves, I think he thinks that it might be a degenerate pastime, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to argue that it isn't, but, I don't know, I wouldn't do it personally. I think it would be a bit repetitive. Maybe I should dip my toes in the speedrunning community a little bit and just see how embarrassingly long of a time I can get. I could try speedrunning games that are maybe an hour or too long. I have a recent playthrough on my YouTube channel. It's a really bad quality video, but I played through Mega Man 1. So that's an old school game, came out in 1986, I believe. Let me get a little sip of this for those at home. This is Twinnings. They're a sponsor of the podcast. This is Twinnings 100% peppermint leaf tea. And I brewed it in this little to-go cup. But it's 100% peppermint. Nothing else in there. It's just peppermint leaves. And you let that little guy brew, and you take a little sip, and it makes this throat nice and juicy. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Twinnings. Cheers, my friends. But yeah, Mega Man 1, I mean, it only took me like almost 2 hours to beat it. And I died a lot, and I was using save states, which makes it a lot easier to complete. But that would be something that I could maybe try to do a speed run on, you know. I can do it a couple times. I gotta find a game that's less time than that. I could speed run a game if it takes 30 minutes to beat. That's my limit. 30 minutes, and I'll speed run your game, and I'll try to get a better time. But yeah, there's people that do games that take forever, and they do it over and over and over again. I don't know. I don't think it's a degenerate pastime, but because I think you learn some skills from it. You learn how to be efficient, and you learn, okay, where can I shave off time here? Where can I shave off time there? I've done that a lot with some of the engineering inspection jobs that I've done. You're doing repetitive things, and you want to figure out, okay, what can I do to make this job go by faster so I can get home earlier, or so that I can get more work done and get paid more. So I think that there's definitely lessons to be learned, skills to be had, but for speedrunning long games that take a long time to beat, I don't think I would, unless it's an amazing game and fun to play. I wouldn't be able to do it, but no, it's not a degenerate pastime. We love those guys that speedrun. They're really good at what they do, and yeah, more power to you, because I certainly cannot do it. All right, we got 2 pages of goodness left, but we got a lot more questions coming from, oh no, questions got messed up. So these questions are from some random person. I think these are from, I gotta figure out who these are from now. We got a bunch of questions. Oh no, this is a bad technical error here. Let me see if I can figure this out here. So anyways, the guy that's about to ask these questions, there's a ton of them, so I want to make sure he gets a good shout out here. He's got like 6 questions coming up. Don't mind me, this is live. Oh, this is who it is. Okay, so twitch.tv/Accelerante TV. He's coming at us from Discord. He had 3 questions previously, and my page printed out wrong, apparently. So we got a bunch more questions coming from him. He wants to know, girls with curls or girls with straight hair? I don't have a preference, my friend. You know, I'm not a big hair guy. I could take it or leave it. I guess if I just have to say, like, off the top of my head, curls, there's something about, you know, a nice, luscious, curly hair. I kind of like that. Yeah, okay. You made me change my mind. I'm going with curls. Although, I've never really thought about it, and I'm not too particular with hair. Yeah, you know what? I am a curls guy. Because sometimes you look at a girl with straight hair, and, you know, it looks good. Okay, she spent the time. Her hair is nice and shiny and, you know, straight. But, I don't know. It's kind of boring. Let's go with those curls. That's what we're going with. So, good question, my friend. All right, he's got another question. Accelerante TV on Twitch. Go check him out if you guys want to see some streaming action. I don't know what he does. I'll have to go look him up, actually. He's done enough work for us. I'll have to check him out the next couple days here. He wants to know, with regards to cereal, puffs or flakes? This is a really good question, too. So, I guess it depends on the type of cereal. I've done more flakes in my days than puffs in my days. And we're not talking about that, my friends. No. We're talking about cereal. Yeah, flakes. I like the Special K cereal. It comes with little dehydrated strawberries. So I go flakes overall. But every once in a while, you'll get a nice little puff. You'll get a little Reese's Pieces puffs. Those are amazing. So, but I think if you're trying to eat a healthier cereal, you go flake. If you really don't give a crap and you just want to, you know, eat whatever, then you go puff. Because puffs, that's when you start getting into your Captain Crunch range with your Crunch Berries. And you can even go crazy. You can get the all Crunch Berry cereal. That's really good stuff. But, yeah, I go flakes because, you know, I try to stay a little bit healthy with my stuff. But for those out there that don't care about what you eat, go get yourself a nice bowl of Reese's Pieces cups, whatever they're called, and enjoy those. Okay. Question number 7 from Accelerante TV on Twitch. He wants to know R&B or hip-hop. I'm going hip-hop. I think from what I remember, I don't really know the specifics of R&B, but isn't it kind of like slower and like more lovey-dovey and like trying to romance a woman? Like, I don't care about that crap. Let's get to the hip-hop. Let's get a nice little dance beat going. Get out there on the dance floor and show you guys my amazing moves. That's what I'm into. I like hip-hop. It's a lot more upbeat. So that's what we're going with. Definitely going with hip-hop, my friend. Good question. Ooh, question number 8. This is really good. Metal or alternative? Now, he's talking about music, for those that don't know. Do I like metal music? Not so much. There's a couple of bands and songs I like. I think I like more of like the old school kind of stuff that you wouldn't even really consider metal. Like, you know, the Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. I mean, that's pretty much as I can remember from my, you know, my old iPod that used to have all these old songs on it. So yeah, I'm definitely going alternative music. I mean, I'm a total 90s kid. Grew up on the 90s. Every time I go on to Pandora, I throw 90s alternative on there, or I'll throw Red Hot Chili Peppers radio on there, which also plays a lot of 90s alternative music, because I guess you could classify them as 90s alternative, even though they're still around. But yeah, 90s alternative, my friend. Lots of great songs. I at one point had aspirations for singing, and I still might in the future. That might be a thing that comes to the YouTube channel at some point, in some form. Singing with a guitar, or singing, you know, to some songs. We'll see where that goes. But I had a really good idea for a band. It's going to be a lot of 90s alternative songs, and it was going to be called, you know, the One Hit Wonders, which is pretty cool because it's a cover band. So it's like, I mean, you're not even trying to put hits out there. You're a cover band, so you're not going to be a one-hit wonder anyways. But you can do a lot of the bands that only had like that one song. You know, there's a lot of those 90s bands where the songs are amazing, but they only really had like one good song, maybe two, and then it would be covers of all those. So I mean, it wouldn't necessarily just have to be the one-hit wonders, but and that band probably already exists. Someone go Google it right now. I'll Google it when I listen back to this and see. Cover band named One Hit Wonders. I'm sure it already exists, but as far as I know, it was an original idea, so I'm sticking with it. All right, another question coming at us. Number 9. What kind of music do you listen to in your formative years? So, in my formative years, I actually was quite diverse. It was a lot of classic rock. It was a lot of alternative music, as you already know. And it was a lot of Chili Peppers. So we're talking stuff, anything from like Led Zeppelin to The Who to the Chili Peppers to, you know, Rage Against the Machine. A lot of stuff. But most of my music listening time has definitely been spent with the Chili Peppers. That's where my comfort is. It's like comfort food to me. I throw on, you know, Under the Bridge or Can't Stop, and I just, you know, that's my comfort food. My comfort music is my Chili Peppers. So that's what I listen to a lot of. So that's not really a genre, but that does answer the question. So what kind of music did I listen to in my formative years? The kind of music was the Chili Peppers. That's the kind of music. Okay. Who helped you develop your music tastes? This is actually another good question, because we actually had someone ask a question earlier. Pierce, coming at us from Facebook, actually asked us a question. He asked us, why do bars in Buffalo stay open till 4 a.m.? That was his question. He actually is the one that turned me onto the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So who would have known that he played them a couple times? He might not even ever listen to them again. Well, I know he does, but yeah. Thanks for that, buddy, because listen to all their albums. They're, you know, from Blood Sugar Sex Magic to Stadium Arcadium, and a little bit after that, you know, that's my jam. And yeah, that definitely had a good influence on me. But a bigger influence too, as far as like my range of songs, you know. Yeah, I went through like a little rap phase and, you know, hip hop phase, probably like 2000, back when that music was, you know, actually in 2000 that music was probably better anyways than like a lot of the rock music and crap anyways. So you really can't, I mean, you're almost better off listening to Britney Spears than whatever bands were around then. There really wasn't too much good music. But yeah, no, my parents had a lot of influence too, so they listened to a lot of good music. My mom was a big Beatles fan. What the hell, was that a sloth in the road? That was a big ass raccoon. That looked like a sloth to me. God dang. Yeah, my mom listened to a lot of Beatles. My mom and dad both listened to a lot of, you know, classic rock. So classic rock is great, and it always will be great. And a fun fact for some people, I heard a song on the Classic Rock channel the other day. It was a 90s alternative song, and it was on the Classic Rock. So it just goes to show you, pretty soon a lot of those songs are going to be considered classic rock because, I mean, you know, they're getting older. So that's interesting to see. All right, we got another question from him. Any particular influences? Okay, we already answered that. Any particular influences? The Red Hot Chili Peppers, my parents, and, you know, I guess Pierce, yeah, because, I don't know, maybe I would have never listened to the Red Hot Chili Peppers if it wasn't for him. It's kind of interesting to think of, but I'm sure I would have stumbled across them and they would have been like still in like my top 10, but not numero uno like they are now. All right, we got a question from Brian on Facebook. He wants to know, what is the first game you got hooked on as far back as you can remember? Okay, so the first game that I really got obsessed with, played every day, tried to perfect my game, try to become a professional. This is back in like 2016, and it was Halo 2. Whatever year that came out, I remember I got it launch night, and that game was just, in my opinion, it's the pinnacle of online gaming. And I got a couple reasons for that. The main reason comes down to like voice chat and stuff like that. And plus the gameplay was amazing. But yeah, it's just so cool. Like I love like how they had proximity chat in that game. Nowadays you have so many different chat clients where you can privately chat with your friends, so you can be silent when you're in the game. You could be someone right around the corner, and they're yelling to their buddy, "Oh yeah, I got the shotgun. I'm over here. I don't know where those guys are," and he's right around the corner yelling all that stuff, and you can't even hear him because he's in a private chat client. But back then, not too many people knew about that stuff. I certainly didn't. And if he was yelling to his buddy, you were going to hear him, and you were going to know he was there. So like there was like this element of like being in the game more, and I don't think that's ever going to exist again. I don't think there's any way around it unless it's like a monitored tournament environment, because even if they find a way to in a game have a you know, a chat thing monitor your apps, so say you're playing the new PUBG 2 whatever a couple years from now, they monitor any chat apps that you have and they block them, so you're forced to use the in-game chat. That would be great in my opinion, but guess what, then you just get a second computer or use your phone and you just chat through that. So I mean, there's always going to be ways around it now. So, you know, not only was that game great in so many ways, but recently that came to mind to me that proximity chat was cool, and it's sad that, you know, something like that I don't think it's ever going to come back, unfortunately. But you never know. One day we'll find a way, and we can make a game based around the proximity chat, and you can design for it, and you can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. But yeah, that is going to wrap up this week's questions. We're running out of time here. We do have more questions coming from Takari. Oh, poor Takari. We didn't get to you, buddy. I guess we can answer a couple. We can save the rest for later. Takari's coming at us from Discord. He wants to know, question number 1 out of 7. Woo! Takari's on fire. Question number 1 out of 7. Oh, I got a phone call. 353. I'm not going to say the number on stream. You guys can probably figure it out from when I went. He wants to know what came first, the chicken or the egg. So the egg actually came first. So, you know, the chickens evolve. They're not chickens yet, they're birds. They're these kind of like little birds. And, you know, they're constantly evolving. Every time they die and they leave behind their offspring, they evolve a little bit more. And eventually, a chicken was born from the, you know, sex-producing whole of the chicken came out. So, not in egg form, it came out in a full chicken form. So, these two chickens evolved to a point where they, they gave birth to a chicken that wasn't in an egg. And it actually was a chicken, though, but it wasn't in an egg. And then it, you know, it grew up to lay an egg. And then the first chicken to ever be laid from an egg would have been born. So that's how it happened. Two non-chickens gave birth to a chicken through evolution. That chicken then laid the first ever chicken egg, and it goes on and on. And that's how it happened. So great question, Takari. He's got a lot of great ones. He's got stuff talking about a black hole. He's got relationship between space and time. He's got stuff talking about the original Pong. He's got what happened to the original E.T. games. And he also wants to know about biking in Amsterdam. These are questions that are going to have to wait for another day, my friend. Sorry. Thanks for the questions, though, people. Thanks for checking out the video. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, which you probably should be watching this on YouTube, because I only had 2 people in chat the whole time, so if anyone watches this, it'll definitely be on YouTube. And yeah, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Go down to the YouTube comments, and you can leave questions down there, too. It might save me a couple minutes for organizing them. And yeah, so thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the questions. Hopefully it was somewhat entertaining for all you folks. If there's any recommendations too of how I can improve the question and answer segment of the show, hit me up. Give me a dislike if you have to, and then say, hey, something's going on here, you need to fix it because I don't like it. Give me a dislike and I'll fix it, and then next time you come back and listen, you can give me that little thumbs up. And also you can turn on that little bell on the YouTube page. Click the bell and it'll let you know anytime I post a new video. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm not going to be doing this podcast for a little while, but I will be coming out with a lot more gaming content. I'm going to squeeze in a couple streams here and there. I'm going to be coming out with some more VR videos for some VR stuff. So, check me out. Give me that like. Give me that subscribe. And best of all, have a great day and enjoy this nice, beautiful weather. And I like ending the stream extra awkward, so I'm just going to stare at the camera for a minute. No, I won't do that. Alright, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Peace, homies.